All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer. Think of this as your ultimate survival kit for the next few years. If you've been watching the rapid, frankly crazy evolution of technology lately and wondering how on earth do I keep up, you are in exactly the right place. Over the next few minutes, my goal is to give you the exact framework to take you from a total beginner to an absolute AI power user before we even hit 2026. And we're going to do that by focusing entirely on the absolute best AI tools you should be using right now. So here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll talk about the new AI divide. Then, we'll break down how to actually understand the AI Genie. From there, we'll dive into mastering prompt engineering, run through the essential AI tools for 2026, and finally, we'll talk about monetizing your new AI skills. Let's get started. All right, part one, the new AI divide. What we're seeing in the global economy right now is this stark K-shaped pattern. It's wild. On the upward trajectory, you've got the AI adopters. These are the people evolving, learning new skills, and watching their careers and their wealth grow at incredible speeds. But on the downward trajectory, you have the AI skeptics, the folks who are running away from it. And unfortunately, their careers are starting to fall behind. The reality is, the choice of which path to take is entirely up to you. But, before we start talking about the future, we really need to clear up a massive misconception. AI is not some brand new overnight phenomenon. Actually, the very first practical AI was a robotic mouse named Theseus. It used basic trial and error memory logic to navigate a physical maze just to find a magnetic piece of cheese. So this has been building for a long, long time. We're talking about scientists discussing AI concepts way back in the 1920s. But progress totally stalled out because we just didn't have the computing power or the data. Fast forward to the internet boom in the 2000s, and suddenly we had massive data and cheaper cloud computing. And then November 2022 gave us the real Google moment of AI with the launch of ChatGPT. It didn't invent AI, but it made it conversational and, most importantly, totally accessible to everyone without needing to know a single line of code. Okay, moving on to part two, understanding the AI Genie. Try this with me. If I say, twinkle, twinkle, little, your brain instantly yells, star, right? You aren't deeply analyzing the sentence grammar. You are just predicting the statistically most likely next word based on a lifetime of data. Well, guess what? AI does exactly the same thing. It takes your words, breaks them down into numbers, and simply predicts what the next token should be. It's just extremely fast guesswork. And this brings us to a really crucial definition. Tools like ChatGPT or Claude are what we call large language models, or LLMs. Because they are just predicting patterns and aren't actually thinking, they're highly prone to something called hallucinations. This is when the AI confidently invents completely fake, random information just because it got confused by your prompt. It sounds totally sure of itself, but it's completely wrong. I like to think of AI as a genie. Imagine finding a magic lamp and asking the genie for unlimited money. Sounds awesome, right? Well, the genie might grant your wish by robbing every bank in the world, instantly putting you in jail. Or it might just give you all the money on Earth, instantly collapsing the global economy. The AI gives you exactly what you ask for. If your instructions are vague, the results are going to backfire. Specificity is literally everything here. Which leads us perfectly into part three, mastering prompt engineering. The most crucial skill you can learn is knowing how to structure your requests. If you're a beginner, I highly recommend using the AIM framework. First, give the AI an actor role. Don't just ask a question. Tell it, you are an expert marketer. Next, provide the input or context, like, here is my product info. Finally, give it a crystal clear mission. Giving the AI a specific persona dramatically changes the quality of the output it generates. It's a total game changer. Once you've got that down, let's step up to a slightly more advanced method, the RCF framework. That stands for role, context, and format. The absolute magic ingredient here is the format. You aren't just asking for information, you are dictating exactly how you want it presented. For instance, asking for a categorized bulleted list, a strict table, or maybe a punchy 200-word summary. Let's look at a real-world example of this in action. Say an engineer wants to move to Google. They shouldn't just type, help me prepare for an interview. Instead, they tell the AI, you are an experienced Google technical recruiter. I am an engineer with 2 years experience. Help me prepare by asking common interview questions. The AI instantly shifts into a highly realistic interactive persona that will actually evaluate their answers. How cool is that? Now, here is a massive mistake I see beginners make all the time. They treat prompting like a single one-off command. Prompting is a conversation. This is called chain of thought. If you want to write a blog or a script, please don't ask for the whole thing at once. Ask it for a brainstorm, refine it together, ask for a structured blueprint, and then have it generate the content piece by piece. Work with it, don't just boss it around. All right, part 4, the one you've probably been waiting for, the essential AI tools for 2026. Okay, here is your ultimate toolkit mapped out. For text and chat, you've got the big 3, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. For deep research, Perplexity and Google's Notebook LM are just incredible. For visuals and video generation, you're looking at Midjourney, VO3, and Sura. For coding and SEO, tools like Cursor, Emergent, and SEMrush are absolute must-haves. And for presentations, Gamma and Kimi AI are lifesavers. Now hear me on this. You do not need to use all of these. Seriously, just pick the 2 or 3 that actually align with your daily tasks. To really grasp how crazy this level of power is, just look at the coding tool Emergent. By simply inputting a basic text prompt asking for a mobile-friendly Flappy Bird clone, the AI agent autonomously goes to work and generates a fully playable app in minutes. What used to take developers weeks can now literally be prototyped in seconds using nothing but text. And it is the exact same story for presentations. If you have ever stared at a blank screen for hours trying to make a slide deck, tools like Gamma completely eliminate that pain. You can feed it a single sentence about your topic, pick a visual theme, and it will instantly generate a stunning, cohesive 10-slide deck with AI-generated images. You just go in, tweak the final result, and boom, you just turned a 6-hour job into a 30-minute task. Okay, let's get down to business. Part 5, monetizing your AI skills. Because having these tools is great, but applying them, that is where the massive opportunities are. You essentially have 3 pathways here. First, freelancing. You can use tools like Emergent to offer lightning-fast web development or VIO3 for high-end content creation. Second, building a business. You can scale that freelance work into a full-blown AI agency, giving you the output power of an entire team. Third, if you are more technically minded, you can make a huge career leap into a dedicated role as an AI engineer or researcher. To put this into perspective, you could literally launch a highly lucrative one-person business today using exactly what we've discussed. For example, you could build and sell custom AI voice calling agents to local businesses. By mastering prompt engineering and integrating these powerful tools, you are creating massive value that businesses are incredibly eager to pay for. So, we have covered a ton of ground today in this explainer, all the way from understanding the AI Genie to the exact 2026 toolkit you need to thrive. The technological landscape is shifting incredibly fast right now. So the only question that really matters at this point is, are you going to adapt and rise, or avoid it and decline? It's time to start experimenting. Dive in, get your hands dirty, and I'll see you in the next explainer.